Hi everyone, I'm Angie Bailey,
And I'm Aurora Newton.
and this is Ask the A-Team. In our last episode, we were talking about kindness, but we wanted to touch on again why it's so important and why that can actually save a life. And that's because this is a hard time for many people.
It really is.
Depression goes up. Statistically, suicides actually peak
Yes.
during the season. It's such a lonely, lonely time for so many people for so many different reasons. But it's just a hard time of year for a lot of people. So we just kind of want to unpack that with you a little bit.
Yeah, and Angie touched on suicide, and it's something that is just so near and dear. I know we both have had not only people that we've lost from suicide, and I think we've talked about this in a previous episode. Very early on, I lost someone that I loved dearly as a friend in my teens to suicide. And it's a hard thing to think about. It's a hard thing to want to address, but it's so important. If there's someone you know and you're hearing them say things like, I wish I were dead, I don't want to be here, I hate this time of year, I wish I was just with my loved ones, anything that could point to the fact that they're even contemplating that thought. Don't ignore it. Don't think by trying to just cheer them up that it's going to change the situation. Have a heart to heart with them. Talk to them about it, because when you talk to them, it lets them know that you really care. And ask them, and this is going to sound crazy, but ask them, do you have a plan for that? And maybe you won't want to unpack it that way, but in your discussion with them, talk to them about, gosh, you say you don't want to be here, how would you do that? I mean, there are ways that you can unpack it that are healthy, that are not going to freak them out or you out. But the big myth that there is about suicide is that if you ignore it or if you talk about it, it will cause them to do it. Is not true.
No.
If you talk about it, yes, if you talk about it with them, what it says is somebody cares. I'm not invisible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And when you get that person help, they may be upset with you for a time,
Right.
but on the other side of that, they're going to thank you.
Yeah.
Even healthcare professionals and counselors will reiterate, hey,
right.
They did this for you because they love you and they care about you, and they will build up on that, and that'll be a really good foundation to know that somebody cared enough to address one of the hardest things that you can actually address, especially in a friendship and a relationship,
Right.
that you can, yeah.
And it's okay to say to them, you know what? I really feel like you need more help than I can give you.
Yes.
And so, ask them, will you let me get help?
Mm-hmm.
And if they won't, and you really feel like this is a serious threat, that this is something serious that they could follow through with, if there's anything inside of you that has a question about that, call the suicide hotline. And we went ahead and we quickly looked that up, and we decided we were going to talk about this. So Angie's going to give that to you right now.
Actually, I have it in my phone.
Yeah.
It's 1-800-273-8255.
And I'll also put that in the in the comments section of this video when we put it up.
Yeah.
And it's not just suicide, but that is the biggie that we look at in this season, because we don't know where people are. But depression, that's another thing that is really prevalent this time of year. So many people have lost loved ones this time of year, or something tragic has happened to them this time of year. You hear about breakups a lot. There are people that are expecting to get engaged, yet there's a breakup that happens. So it's just a season that there can be a lot of depression and sadness, even though it should be the most wonderful time of the year.
Right. And what we can do as friends to those people is come along beside somebody who might be struggling, and invite them in. We've talked about, you get so busy this time of year that it's easy to kind of miss some of those clues.
Right.
But if you know somebody who's maybe experiencing a holiday the first time after losing a loved one or something, get out, volunteer together, invite them in to come and decorate your Christmas tree, do your Christmas baking, invite them over for your holiday meal. All kinds of stuff like that can be done to include somebody in your holiday season, and it can just really share the love of Christ, which is what this season really is
That's
all
what
about.
we're supposed to be doing.
Um, and invite them into that, and,
Yeah.
and share the love of Jesus.
Yeah, and I told Ange earlier that that the Lord's really impressed on me in this season because I'm always go 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 do busy 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 task mode. To keep it simple this Christmas, there's so many things that I wanted to do, or I thought, oh, I'll do this or I'll do that, but instead I've decided to replace that with spending time with people.
Yes.
Just spending time with those that really need someone just to take the time with them.
Yeah. Doing one Christmas tree instead of 3 this year.
Whoa,
That's a big deal.
No. How will I do
I
that?
decided that today. I was
Yeah.
like, I haven't gotten started on it.
I'm proud
It's
of
going to be
you.
one tree.
I'm so proud of
Yeah.
you. Yeah, but it's little things like that.
Mhm.
And for me, doing my team party, at Vineyard, I was gonna put up Christmas trees and do all these things for our Christmas party. And what I decided was more important was just to create an atmosphere of love and gathering in instead of trying to drive myself insane trying to get all
Yes.
this done.
And be present and not
Yeah.
exhausted, right?
Exactly. That's so important. But I had time to
Order
to meet
pizza.
with
You
someone
don't have to
yesterday.
cook.
Yeah. Oh gosh, order pizza. I went over her house for Thanksgiving. I cooked.
Go
too
to
later
somebody
on.
else's house.
Yeah. Somebody that cooks really well.
Yeah.
Somebody that's going to figure out how to make me Buckeyes this season without sugar in them, right? Or at least without processed sugar.
Yeah.
Well, we like to joke sometimes. I know some people prefer that we wouldn't joke when we talk about serious subjects, but there are some people that it's really hard to process these serious subjects. So we like to keep the atmosphere a little light sometimes, make a few jokes, but they're actually real things.
Mhm.
You can invite someone in. You can make Buckeyes with them. You
Mhm.
can make cookies with them. And that could change their life. It could save their life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, if this has helped you in any way or can help anyone that you know and love, please like or share. And don't forget to follow Ask the A Team.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.